So, one of the worst feelings in the world is to not have a job. But also, one of the worst feelings in the world is to have a job. But what I do enjoy is seeing people getting fired.
Day in the life at Google Seattle. I'm getting breakfast at this really cute cafe at 8 a.m. and at around 8:20 I got to work. I usually get a snack at around 10 a.m. and 11:30 is usually when I eat lunch. At 12 o'clock I get some more caffeine. I like to de-stress at the end of the day and go home at 5:30.
Big life update. I got laid off yesterday.
I know that's dark for me to laugh, but it's funny still. But anyway, today on Reading Reddit, I've gone through a few subreddits and found posts about what's the funniest reason you got fired or someone got fired. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for all the recent support. Now let's get into it. Someone used a government vehicle to transport a goat. Gonna need more here. Yep, exactly what I was thinking. I need more context. Well, the guy took the van to pick up a goat, and then whoever used the van next was like, why does it smell like goat shit here? And the higher ups got involved, and the carpet where the smell was coming from went to a crime lab for testing. First job in high school was at a small grocery. I got fired because a boomer didn't like my haircut. When our first child was born, my husband and I did a cost analysis and if it made sense for one of us to stay home or to put him in daycare. Turns out, if we put our son into daycare, my husband's pay would net us around $5,000 after all of his hard costs, so we decided it made sense for him to quit. The next day he had a scheduled meeting with his boss and he planned to resign during that time. At the meeting, before my husband had a chance to give his resignation, his boss told him they no longer needed his services. Oh, wait, what is that? They gave him 6 weeks severance pay and paid for our health insurance for a few months. He came home laughing. Oh, it's a good story. Alright then, fair enough. So, getting fired when you wanted to quit. Not a bad ending. Oh wait, speaking of bad endings, I finished The Boys. Yeah, alright then. I was driving cars for a shady dealer. Got a call that my uncle had attempted something bad and was in a psychiatric ward in the local hospital and wouldn't talk to anyone else but me. Told the boss I had to roll. He said something like, your job comes before family. If you leave, don't come back. That boss. I left. The next morning he called and asked why I wasn't at work. I hung up. Okay. Oh, here's another similar story. My brother had an emergency gallbladder. Yeah. Sick one. Gallbladder removal. I called in to tell my employer I need to take a couple days off to help him since our parents were out of town for something. They started cussing me out and asked what was more important, my job or my family. My god, you can't see me but I'm shaking my head right now. Then the same guy tried calling the next day like nothing happened. I swear to god man, upper management, managers, you don't get paid enough to do this shit, man. A few years back, I worked in a supermarket. A lady started working there and immediately after she started working, she told our company that her mum died. RIP. She was allowed 3 weeks paid bereavement leave. She went abroad on holiday for those 3 weeks. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just pre-read a little bit. During her time away, her mum came into the shop and was telling one of the cashiers that her daughter worked for the store. And the cashier asked who, and the mum told the cashier's daughters. Oh my god, your mum snitched on you. Cashier was confused as the lady said her mum was dead. Cashier reported it to management. As soon as the lady returned from her holiday, she was fired. That's why whenever you get a new job, you have 4 grandparents that are alive. My nan's dead.
So that don't matter.
I got fired from a plumbing job because I said it smells like shit when I unclogged a bathroom pipe. Same here, I used to be a proctologist. I didn't actually witness it, but a friend of mine who is a lawyer told me about a case concerning a bunch of people who worked in a clean room of a chip fab. Some of the employees had a long-running game of surprise crotch grabbing each other. All men, naturally.
This nigga's a homosexual.
And it was primarily instigated by one employee, meaning he had to go around trying to grab his co-worker's crotches. One day, someone snuck up behind him and grabbed him with a perfect 10 crotch grab. Investigator guy got very upset and physically attacked the co-worker who grabbed him. So naturally he got fired for fighting on the premises. So he sued. I would say this is guys being guys, but this is just gay. Respectfully, you deserve to get fired. Fire the whole company, actually.
Nuke the whole
company. My first job ever was a dishwasher. I was so proud. Good job, mate. You should be. I was 18. Of course, my parents didn't believe me, so my mum called them and asked if it was true. They fired me that night because they felt I was unreliable. What the f? First of all, parents. Second of all, your mum. Not like that. And then third of all, your boss, because what the hell, why would you fire someone on that reason? I worked at a sawmill for 10 years till they shut down and made us all redundant. They hired a temp for a day and a half to type your CVs. One of my crews told me to go see her, she is very attractive. Go on, lads. The next day I asked her if she wanted to go out on my motorbike this weekend. She said no, but I'll go out for a drink with you tonight. Go on, lad. The short version is, I met her on Monday, she brought me dinner on Tuesday, and I bought her breakfast on Wednesday, and 3 months later we were married. We're still together 22 years later, having the best time with a wonderful son and daughter. I also got $10,000 as part of my redundancy. Fair enough. I mean, you got fired and you got a missus. Congratulations, mate. I work for a large interracial corporation. Whoa, this is editing Emin here. I don't know why I said interracial. Back to the video. My peers and I were planning a layoff. It was far enough along that we had the names and the date. A remote worker set up an unexpected meeting where she told me she plans to retire. I strongly suggested she wait 2 weeks before she sent an official notice. A week later, she became eligible for a 20-week severance pay. Yo, shout out to that firing manager. Firing manager? Hiring manager? Opposite. Shout out to that firing manager for just saying like, yo, just wait a little bit. Yeah. Years ago, I worked in a movie theater that had a coffee bar inside. On Thanksgiving one year, a guy working the coffee bar got himself a serving of whipped cream to eat with his Thanksgiving meal we provided for everyone. He was suspended immediately for theft and then What? So what? He got... Whoa. Let me back up a second. Let me breathe. He got fired because of whipped cream. A co-worker infested the office with fleas. He didn't get fired until he did it a second time. What? How? First of all, how'd you get infested with fleas in the first place? And then how'd you do it again? Go shower, bro. Is he a dog? Wait. So, I didn't read all of this, I just read the first line, but I read this one. A couple weeks later, the guy came into the office to pick up his paycheck. In the 30 seconds he was inside, he infested the place again. What? How many fleas did he have? At my previous job, I had an argument with the boss at my second week. He called me on Saturday at 9 PM to scold me over a stupid email. He was a disgusting bully and my patience was over. Then I came back to work on Monday at 8:30. I worked until 10:30. Around that time, he called me to tell me he fired me on Saturday after the argument, but only told me on Monday after I got up in the morning and came to work. Yo, shout out to that boss actually, that is so petty, so funny. Funny part is, he took back the same day he fired me because his client called and told him to do something, and I was the only one that could do it. 2 months after that, he fired me again for good. Nah, I can't lie, you took the L there. You got fired 3 times, once without knowing, and you had to get up in the morning. What? In 2008, I was beating the shit out of my horrible co-workers with a Nerf bat while in conflict resolution class. What kind of conflict resolution is? At around noon, I was pulled out of the training for a meeting with corporate and learned that my position had been eliminated. To my knowledge, it was not related to the Nerf bats. Wait, what? So, what? You didn't get fired for beating the shit out of your co-workers? First of all, what workplace are you at to be beating your co-workers with a Nerf bat? The timing on that was so funny. Were you a little too happy to whack them around? In retrospect, yes, I wish I hit them harder. Serious. Yeah, this guy might be a criminal. New guy gets hired for an office job. Day 1, after an hour of being there, he f***s himself at his desk. Alright, I think I might end it there, lads. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed.